a big influence is your mother. And like I kind of want to talk about, so when you're accomplishing the things you're accomplishing, I mean, you accomplished everything there is to accomplish in wrestling at that level. And your mom was a big inspiration, a big help for you, a big support staff. What do you think it is that you did that made her the most proud? Like, when do you think her proudest moment was of you so far? And I say so far because you're tackling so many things every day. Who knows what you're going to do next?
Honestly, that's a great question. And honestly, I think it was after my very first wrestling match, my first official match, where, I went out there and I got beat. But I think, remember she told me, she's like, I'm just proud of you for trying. She's like, I'm so proud of you for going out there and trying. And because it was literally that first match, I remember running out there with the team, right? We're doing the warm-ups, and someone in the stands was laughing at me. Like, they're cracking jokes, like really loud. And so like my mom, my mom's little. She's like, I think she's like 5'2". She's tiny. But she went up to this group of people that were laughing at me, and she actually scolded them right there on the spot.
Oh, wow.
And got in their face. And then she sat down and watched the rest of my match. But I just remember that, seeing that. And, after the match, I'm sitting there defeated because I got destroyed. I think I got like teched in the second or third period. But my mom was just telling me how proud of me she was for trying it. She's like, I'm so proud of you. You just need to stick with it. And so, the success came later, and I know she was proud of me for that. But I think just, one, it was the initial, just that initial attempt in wrestling, but also just coming back after, that major defeat at the beginning, and just those people laughing at me because I never really had a huge support system as I went through wrestling. There were a lot of people who doubted me from other teams, a lot of people who, they were laughing in the stands and things like that. And so I think that's what made my mom the most proud, was that I stuck with it and I pushed through that stuff and then eventually got to the top. But, you have to be willing to suffer and, kind of push through that pain sometimes and, the doubt of other people. But in the end, that's what really makes it special and what makes it worth it. And that's what I found.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, to have that kind of support staff supporting you. And then you didn't start out so, like, you had a losing record in the beginning of high school. You had was like 5-8 or something, right?
Yeah, I lost a ton. I finished last place in my city tournament my first year as a freshman. And that was frustrating, because wrestling, it's a tough sport. You're putting a lot into practice. And, I just remember I was trying my best, but I wasn't really seeing the results I expected at the beginning. So it was very discouraging, but, I just remember it was after my freshman year, finishing last place in the city tournament. It was like that night after the tournament. I remember I'm sitting in my room and I'm just, basically I'm sulking, I'm just reflecting on the season, reflecting on the tournament, and kind of feeling sorry for myself. But I remember just being in my room, and at the beginning of the season, I actually had this bookshelf that was like right over my bed. And at the beginning of the season, I just remember looking at the bookshelf thinking that's where I'm putting all my trophies, all my medals, they're going there. And so, I'm sitting in this room, man, I'm just alone and looking at that bookshelf, and there wasn't a single trophy or a medal on it. And so, I just remember as I was staring at that, something just kind of switched in my mind. Like, I don't know if I just snapped or what it was, but I just remember thinking, I don't care how long it takes me, I'm going to be the best wrestler to ever come out of Arizona. I want to be a state champ. I want to be a national champ. I want to prove these people wrong. I'm going to show them. And, I wrote that down on a little sticky note, and I actually have that in my trophy case still. I wrote down my first goal of being a state champ. And that was kind of the turning point for me. I was like, I don't ever want to feel like this anymore. I don't ever want to feel like the last place kid from Mesa anymore. And all that. I want to prove people wrong and show to myself that, really you can do anything you set your mind to, and that was a turning point for me, and there was no going back.
Yeah. And then you went on to go 96-0 in your final year.
I did, yeah. So
that's a pretty decent improvement.
It was a great career in high school, man. I was blessed. My sophomore year, I finished 6th in the state, and then my senior year, I went undefeated both years. I was 96-0, 2-time high school state champ, and then I went on to become a high school national champion as well, because I didn't want to wrestle in college. So I wanted to kind of get my name out there to the colleges to start looking at me.
Yeah, well, I think you did that, definitely. And from what I read, you didn't get accepted into a couple colleges at first, correct?
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy experience for me. I didn't expect it because, I felt like I really had done a great job in high school of progressing, and I felt like I had the resume for it. A couple times state champ, high school national champ. I was an honor roll student as well, so I was really thinking that I was going to get the college wrestling scholarship offers. That colleges were going to be looking at me like crazy and trying to recruit me, but that wasn't the case. I got honestly, there was only 2 schools that talked to me Division I. I remember reaching out to a bunch of schools. The majority of them, they just didn't even take the time to respond to me. But the few that did, they said that there were 2 issues with me. They said, number one, you're too light. They said, you wrestled 112 pounds your senior year of high school. The lightest weight class in college is 125. You're giving up, 15 pounds, but then these guys are cutting weight. So you're probably a good 20, 30 pounds too small. And they said, on top of that, this is Division I wrestling. These are the best of the best wrestlers across the country, and you're missing your leg. We don't think you can compete at this level. They said, we don't think you're going to be successful here. Maybe look, at a smaller program, a smaller school, but, Division I, we don't think it's for you. So, that was discouraging. I felt like all the hard work and all the results that had come from that hard work, these coaches and these schools were just overlooking it. They were just focusing on my only challenge, what could hold me back. And so it was upsetting, but in the end, I learned I had to swallow my pride. I mean, sometimes the opportunity that you want isn't the opportunity that you get, but you still got to make the most of what the opportunity is, and that taught me that. That taught me, okay, I have another opportunity to walk on Arizona State, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I did that. I was a walk-on for my first 2 years at ASU.